Today, today is more, we're going to focus on the strategy that most podcasters don't maximize, and that's social media. Social media is one of the best places that you can maximize your efforts when it comes to growing your audience. Whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, Twitch, X, which is Twitter. The goal is to get as many ears and eyes on your podcast as humanly possible. My goal today is to change the way you think about how to promote your podcast on social media. Because there's different ways of doing this. There's different ways of promoting. There's different avenues. There's different techniques and tactics that can get you to the point where you're able to promote a good quality episode, a good quality show on social media without being salesy.
Welcome to the Social Mojo Podcast, the place where entrepreneurs and creatives come to discover the secrets behind building a powerful, engaging brand without spending a fortune. Let's meet the host, Mr. Anthony Porter, your guide on this journey to harness the power of organic social media. In each episode, we dive deep into the strategies that work, sharing insights, actionable tips, and success stories from experts and trailblazers who've done it all. From planning your content with precision, growing your audience authentically, to monetizing your passion effectively, we've got you covered. So, whether you're just starting out or looking to elevate your social media game, stay tuned. Because here at the Social Mojo Podcast, we're all about making your brand unforgettable, organically.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Day 8. We have finally reached level 3 of the podcast success ladder. So what does level 3 consist of? Level 3 consists of the audience growth. We are going to dig deep into growing the audience. We are going to talk about a lot of things that can help you get your audience. Like, remember, we've talked about how to retain your audience, your listeners, their mission, all of the good stuff. Then we're going to talk about your audience. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Anthony Porter. I'm back. Social Mojo Podcast, Day 8. And hopefully by now, you see how much stuff to fix before fixing your growth strategy. 9 times out of 10, podcasters think they need a better growth strategy. But in reality, there's something off with their, premise or the ability to keep their listeners. You have now know this because you've been through the first 7 lessons of the 12 days of podcasting. It's simple. We're going to talk about the growth strategy. So if you're ready, we're going to get with that, all right? Today is more, we're going to focus on the strategy that most podcasters don't maximize, and that's social media. Social media is one of the best places that you can maximize your efforts when it comes to growing your audience. Whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, Twitch, X, which is Twitter. The goal is to get as many ears and eyes on your podcast as humanly possible. My goal today is to change the way you think about how to promote your podcast on social media. Because there's different ways of doing this. There's different ways of promoting. There's different avenues. There's different techniques and tactics that can get you to the point where you're able to promote a good quality episode, a good quality show on social media without being salesy, without being all out and all that other good stuff. So the role of social media for podcasters. Fundamentally, social media allows podcasters to do 3 simple things. It's engage. That's engage. Engagement with your audience is direct. It don't get no broader than that. It reminds, This keeps your audience up to date about all new episodes. And believe it or not, a lot of people look for that. A lot of people believe there are tons of people who love your podcast. You just have to be able to figure out the ways of getting them to the different avenues, the different formats, and everything that you need to do. And then last but not least, expand. This is where you reach new audiences through, target engagement or organic reach. Exposure doesn't come by posting alone or by gaming the algorithm. It's a skill. It's definitely a skill. You must learn to, harness, to take heed, to take care of. Now, let me give you a word of caution. Don't expect instant podcast downloads from a single post. It's not going to happen. It's not. You aim to get followers through social media? That's great. Gradually lead them to your podcast. So post. Let them know who you are. Let them know that you're human. Let them know that you're real. And then you lead them to the podcast. The goal for social media is to grow your following on social media. But by doing that, your podcast growth it'll come sooner rather than later. So choosing your social media format is key. Again, you have LinkedIn, you have Instagram. I use Instagram. Social Mojo Podcast is used on Instagram and Instagram alone. Now I can make posts on all the others, but right now I'm focused on Instagram. Choose one and focus on the one. And when you focus on the one, you'll tend to realize and recognize that everything will grow, and then you can start to transition into another one. So one of my favorite approaches is to follow 1 to 10K rule. All right, so what is the 1 to 10K rule? One platform into your audience is 10K. So you posting 3 to 5 times a day, reels, carousels. You have to know the difference though. A post versus a carousel. A post is just a thought, something random. A carousel, you teach it. Reels and stories will bring the people to you. So again, think about what you want to post. And the key to posting on social media is you got to plan things out. You can't just sit there. And come up with it on the fly. Now, most posts do. You might see something that inspires you while you're sitting there in the park or anything, but most posts just come up on the fly. But if you plan things out and you direct target the psychographics of your target audience, you're going to get a ton of people to literally join in, dive in, and start to follow you, start engaging. Now, posting is not the all ends of all. You really have to engage with your audience. So one of the rules of thumb that I like to use, I use Gary V. Gary V he calls it the $80 rule. Now, what he did was on Twitter, every day, most of the day, he would go look for the city that he was in, find the latest post, click on it. If he liked it, he followed them. Then he would go into their comments, click on the comments, and the latest comment that was left, like go through there like 5 or 6 times and read them, like, comment, and then follow the person who made the comment. Now, just leaving an emoji does not necessarily bring you to the point where a person is going to follow you. If you leave a detailed comment, a comment that is engaging, a comment that a person can ratify and understand, then yeah, you're good. but you have to be able to engage with your people. All right. And then, like I said, you have to be able to make sure that what you're posting fits the context of your show episode. Like, you might post once a week, right? So whatever your episode is going to be about, you should plan out that post. Simple. Now, if you're using Instagram, that's fine. If you're using TikTok, the rules are different, but they are somewhat similar. Because at the end of the day, you can get a better reach on TikTok because everything is short form. See, what you want to do is you want to post short form videos. And with those short form videos, you just simply make that post. And once you make that post, engage, follow. Some people don't like to use hashtags. I tell you, hashtags work because it gets you in front of the calculated audience. So baby boomers use Instagram. Gen Z, my era, baby boomers use TikTok. Gen Z, they use Instagram. You have to create content that gets your listeners. So again, when you're posting, you have to make sure that what you are posting is directly diverted for that episode to your target audience, and for your target audience to know exactly what it is you're talking about. And again, here's another trick that I like to use. When I'm on Instagram, I tag Instagram, I tag my city, I tag creators. It's just a matter of knowing exactly what you're going to talk about, when you're going to talk about it, how you're going to talk about it. So promoting on your podcast, on your social media platform is very simple. It's very easy. You make a post, use a caption, hook, story, call to action. And then after you do all of that, guess what happens? You guessed it. Now the people begin to follow you. And by the people beginning to follow you, people begin to understand. People will form the community around your post. And you have to be consistent. You definitely have to be consistent when it comes to posting. You can't just post once a week and think somebody's going to pick up on it. 3 to 5 times a day for posts, reels, 1 or 2 times a week, stories. You can post stories and get people to interact with you, build polls and ask questions and all of those good things. That's what you want to get into. Don't just publish content just to be publishing content. Make your content mean exactly what it is you're discussing when it comes to your podcast. All right. So today is definitely going to be short because it's simple. We just talked about how you post on social media. So think of it this way: your social media content is like free sample of snacks, cookies. When you go to Sam's or you go to Costco's, you get those free snackies. This is what your posts are. You give it a good reel, and that reel talks about what it's going to be in the episode, and you're giving them a look inside of your world already. So by giving them that look, many people will take the free cookie and move on with their day. They won't go inside the bakery to buy it, but they'll take the free cookie. But as many cookies as you give, the more that it gets more intriguing. Like I said, target your niche right and you will be successful. It's plain and simple. Target your niche right and you will be successful. So we know cookies are amazing. We know snacks are amazing. We know the bakery is amazing. Think long term, not short term. In fact, if you do what we just discussed, posting, targeting your audience, how you post, and all of that, people will come across the street to avoid going to the bakery, right? Now they're going to come inside. So you keep posting, people going to come in, they're going to check it out. And that's basically how this goes. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no hiding it. This is what it is. This is how it goes. This is where we're at. So post constantly and try to, so when you're planning out, so here's a quick tip. Here's a pro tip. Plan your podcast out accordingly. Don't try to post, like for me, like I use Riverside to do all of my recordings. And inside the studio, what Riverside does is it'll break down and it'll give me 5 or 6 good social media platform style context. Instagram, TikTok, shorts, reels, posts. All I do is come up with my captions through the help of AI and post them. And then my engagement just, it's just around 400 or 500, but they're good. But if you're consistent with it, people start coming in. They want to get the cookies. They want to test it. All right. That's all I got for you today. When you create those posts, make sure you create them awesome. Think outside the box. Don't be stuck in the realm of you seen it, you do it that way. No, think outside the box and you will be successful. All right. So today's episode, again, we talked about how to get your audience using social media. It's your man, Anthony Porter. Social Mojo Podcast. We out of here. Peace.
And that wraps up another episode of the Social Mojo Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your time with us today. We hope you found our conversation insightful and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe to the Social Mojo Podcast on your favorite platform, and be sure to download the episodes so you never miss out on our latest content. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue bringing you great discussions every week. A special thank you to our incredible executive producers, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash, and Theory Porter. Your vision and dedication make this podcast possible. Remember, the Social Mojo Podcast is a proud part of the Amplify Pod Academy, where we strive to amplify voices and share stories that matter. Until next time, stay connected and keep the mojo flowing. Bye.